is the cascade, the torrent, the Nile River of dark money that has begun to flow into our democracy since Citizens United. It wasn't enough that the Republican members of the court let unlimited money flow. They then had to refuse to react when that unlimited dark money went underground, when it went dark, when it became anonymous. They've had chance after chance to fix it, and they've refused, and we're left with this mess. It matters that citizens know who's talking in a democracy. In my circuit, the First Circuit Court of Appeals, where Jack Reed and I have the honor occasionally to recommend nominees to the president, there's a judge who I believe is the dean of the First Circuit Court of Appeals named Bruce Elia. He's a Rhode Islander. He was a Reagan appointee. He's a Republican. He's a very distinguished judge. And he has said it is crucial that the electorate can understand who is speaking, and thus to give proper weight to different speakers and messages when deciding how to vote. That crucial right is denied to Americans wholesale because of an unprecedented dark money campaign of interference in our democracy. You see it whenever it's election season. You're watching a television show and suddenly your TV screen is occupied by an advertisement that tells you that somebody is a bum, that somebody is no good, that somebody is terrible, that smears them. And at the end it says, this advertisement was brought to you by Americans for Peace and Puppies and Prosperity, some completely imaginary group that was cooked up just to launch those advertisements, and whatever filth those advertisements contained is then disappeared with the end of that front group. It's the political equivalent of toilet paper. You flush it when you're done with the filth, and whoever is behind it keeps their hands clean. So we now have a tsunami of slime, as one writer put it, flowing through our country, and it is denying our citizens the most fundamental right they have when they vote, which is to know who the actors are and who is doing what to whom. Well, in this bill is the Disclose Act that would fix that. If you spend more than 10 grand in an election, you have to report it. And I don't care how many shell corporations and donors' trusts and phony 501c4s you line up to blockade your identity, our bill will get through it. It super drills through however many screens you put up, and the American public will at last, once again, know who's really talking to them in their elections. Dark money, Madam President, takes away voters' right to know who's talking to them and what's going on in their democracy. It is a fundamental right. And unfortunately, it doesn't end there, because the other rights that my colleagues have so eloquently talked about, to get to the ballot, to be treated fairly at the ballot, to not be harassed on the way to the ballot, to be able to get a ballot mailed to you, the Republican efforts around the country to attack those rights, to suppress votes those ways, you know how that's being done? It's being done with dark money. We know it because they've been caught. It's not a matter of debate or dispute. When these enterprises are set up to deprive what Reverend Warnock calls some people of their right to vote, and when the laws are done so that that is accomplished against particularly African American voters with what one court called surgical precision, that is not happening at random. It is happening because enormous amounts of anonymous money are flowing into groups to make it happen. And I will close with two examples. One is called Heritage Action, which is The current state of the art on this is you set up a phony 501c3 and a phony 501c4, and they're a pair, and the money to the 501c3 is deductible, and the political dirty work is done by the 501c4, and Heritage Foundation, which we've all heard about, is the 501c3, and Heritage Action is its 501c4. And Heritage Action was recorded talking to its secret donors. And the person who was making the presentation to the secret donors in May of 2021 said, "We worked quietly with the legislatures. We got the best practices to them. We helped draft the bills. We made sure activists were calling the state legislators, getting support, showing up at their public hearings, giving testimony. In some cases, we actually drafted the bills for them." Or we have a sentinel. Think about that word for a minute. A sentinel on our behalf, give them the model legislation so it has that grassroots from the bottom up type of vibe. She said, and we did this with little fanfare. Honestly, nobody even noticed. My team looked at each other and were like, it can't be that easy. Well, the Disclose Act will stop it from being that easy to have an out-of-state dark money campaign take a state legislature and get them to pass voter suppression laws without the state legislators even know who is behind it. And that's on tape. I am not making this up. The other one that's always worth looking at are our friends at the Honest Elections Project, which actually doesn't exist. What exists is something called the 85 Fund. And the 85 Fund is allowed under Virginia law, Senator Kane, to have a fictitious name and to operate as if it were operating under its fictitious name. And it has several. One is the Judicial Crisis Network, which we all know helped stock the court with right-wing judges. But another one is the Honest Elections Project. Honest Elections Project and Honest Elections Project Action are the pair that work on this. Money has poured into this effort, and the Honest Elections Project has been smack in the middle of it. In 2012, 77% of its money came through Donors Trust, which is a great identity laundering device for right-wing dark money. In 2013, 96%. In 2014, 88%. In 2015, 84%. In 2016, 82.6%. In 2017, 93%. In 2018, 88.8%, and in 2020, the year that the Honest Elections Project waged dark money voter suppression, the 85 Fund received over $45 million, identity laundered through Donors Trust. And much of that money came from one single $19 million contribution. Somebody wrote a $19 million check to suppress votes. Folks, if we don't get to the bottom of this, we're going to have a real problem on our hands. And when we get to the bottom of this, the American public will be with us because they hate this stuff. You can be a Bernie bro or you can be a Tea Partier and you can disagree on everything and you agree that big dark money corruption has no place in American democracy. This is the issue where Senator McConnell's political minions met with the Koch brothers' political minions, and they did whatever minioning they do together. And their conversation got out to Jane Mayer, who wrote about it. And this was the issue that they said to each other, we can't dirty this up. No matter how hard we try to put a good spin on this, voters hate dark money corruption. Our voters hate it just as much as their voters. So this is our chance to fix this, to take out the dark money behind the voter suppression effort in all these states. This isn't happening, folks. It is being done. And we've got to pay attention to who is doing it. And when we do, we will restore that fundamental voting right of all Americans to know who is talking to them in their elections, to have ours be a democracy without masks, without subterfuge, and without dark money. I yield the floor.